the station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Freedom Chat, where real Americans speak their minds. And no topic is off limits. No scripts, no judgment, just honest conversation, raw, unfiltered, and free. If you're ready to challenge the narrative and celebrate true freedom, you're in the right place. This is Freedom Chat.
All right, good morning. I don't know if my mom is going to come on. She may not. You know how that goes with my mom.
Yeah.
It just depends on the day. She probably is trying to get on. We're having, once again, technical difficulties. Don't know exactly what's going on or why it's going on, but let's get right into this, man. There was a... So how many times do you have to commit a violent crime before you get thrown into jail? There's Mom. I'll get her on there. Answer me that question, Dennis. This is okay. First, Mom, get yourself shifted so that your camera's looking right. There you go. All right. So, Mom, I was simply going in and starting with the following question. How many freaking times do you have to commit murder, violent assault before a judge throws your ass in jail and tosses the key? Explain this one to me, and please talk to me like I'm a 2-year-old, because the 4-year-old in me doesn't freaking get it.
Well, the answer is, if you're illegal, you get out anytime. If you're an illegal alien, that is, you get out anytime. Whereas if you're an actual American citizen born here, well, Mom, they just throw you away the key when they put you in jail.
Mom, that's not what I asked. I
That's
asked
what
how
happens.
many times does it take?
1.
Dennis, you do know what I'm talking about, right? Dennis, do you know what I'm talking about?
There's which example are you referring to?
So in Charlotte, there was an attack of a black man, homeless, mentally ill, who had been arrested numerous times for very similar acts of violence against people. The woman that he stabbed in the neck and murdered on camera on the train was a refugee from Ukraine. The woman had survived all of this bullshit we've been dealing with since 2021. You remember when Biden said don't, and Putin looked at him and gave him the fingers? Yeah. So I'm going to be really offensive today, folks. I'm a little hot about this. Number one, it's a black on white crime, and everybody in the mainstream media is fucking moot.
Silent.
Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's looking at it. And I'm pissed off about it, because if that had been a white man stabbing a black woman, there would have been riots in the fucking streets. So yeah, I'm gonna cuss a lot today.
He had 14 or 16 priors, I think it was, something like that. I just saw what you're talking about this morning.
Violent. All of them violent.
Yep. I have no clue how that guy's even walking around. No idea.
And you got the fucking mayor of Charlotte, and this is her fucking quote. I want to thank our media partners and communities who have chosen not to repost or share the footage. No, I think people need to see this shit. You know what? They put videos that are blatantly set up to make police officers look bad.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Every day.
They do that blatantly to make our cops look bad. They don't want to show that video? Now, you don't have to like what I'm saying, and you don't have to understand where I'm coming from, but let me explain something to you. This is bullshit. This is complete and total garbage. I am hot about it because that is an American citizen. That is or in this case, a legal immigrant who came into this country and she was probably on a work visa, and now she's dead. This guy should have been in jail, should have had the book thrown at him, or sent into a mental hospital. Thank God Trump is trying to get asylums back on board, because people like that do not belong in our society. And it doesn't matter what color he is. If it was a white guy doing it to a white girl, I would say the same damn thing. It's not the what in this case.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly what Curtis Sliwa is running his campaign for in New York City against this commie bastard. Is like the violence in the subways is just, I mean, there's no cops down there, probably because they're not allowed to be.
Right.
And it's running rampant with insane people that should be in asylums, and they're just everywhere, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Absolutely. And look, you can even look at the photograph of this guy sweeping this knife down on this girl. This girl is looking at her phone. She isn't even aware that this asshat is about ready to do this to her. Here's what you find out, though. Here's our news, folks. This is the propaganda machine for the Democrat Party and anybody who is woke. And all y'all can kiss my ass if you support it. AP, no stories. PBS, no stories. I thought PBS was supposed to be public broadcast. NYT, no stories. NPR, no stories. They will run headlines about President Trump all the live long day. This woman was murdered on a freaking light rail. BBC, nothing. Wall Street Journal, nothing. CNN, where the hell are you people? Aren't you supposed to be the news? Don't answer. I already know the answer. WAPO, no, nothing. Zip, zilch, nada. But then you watch and a black person has something happen to them, and holy shit, it's all over the front page. Do you guys remember when the one high school kid had the red Make America Great Again hat on and was basically verbally assaulted by a Native American? And he is a Native American. And you saw how the headlines, oh, this kid is racist, this kid is this kid is that. Where is the outrage on an actual attempt, an actual murder for the entire world to see? And okay, let's go to Daniel Penny.
Well, that too, and let's go
for that.
Let's
guy
go to that poor woman
somebody.
that was burned alive.
Right.
The homeless woman that was burned alive.
If we're not willing to call it and call it as it is, not as we want it to be, then we are in trouble as a society. There is no place for that kind of violence in this country. None. But we just the media doesn't even sniff at it because it doesn't fit their narrative of what they've told the world the view is. And I'm telling you, it blows me away. It really does. It blows me away. I am consistently shocked when I see.
I've said this time and time again.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've said this time and time again, man, and I firmly believe it, and I believe it's coming. If these leaders, quote unquote, don't do something about this pretty damn soon, I'm telling you what, man, good men are going to have to do bad things, and that's just the way it's going to be. I don't want to see it come to that. I really don't. But if some shit don't fucking start changing pretty damn soon, it's going to come to that.
And here's the sad part. Go ahead, Mom.
There was a reason why vigilantes were set up in the old towns in the West, is because there was no other law. And that's exactly what might happen if they're not real careful.
Yep.
In the big cities like New York,
And here's
Chicago,
okay.
and possibly Denver.
Now here's the deal. You see protests. I know you guys probably saw the protests of the Mom, I'm sorry I'm going to say this because you do fall into this category, but the geriatric clubs coming from blue states that marched down the streets of Washington D.C. protesting Donald Trump bringing law and order back to the Washington D.C. and him saying we're going to these other cities. My only thing for Donald Trump is if you've got problems in places like Tennessee, because I know that Memphis, Tennessee is pretty bad. I know that it's got a pretty high crime rate. Then send troops there too. Don't make it a blue state, red state, blue city, red city. Now, I will say this. The blue cities and the blue states have a far bigger problem when it comes to the crime and the violent crime. What was it last weekend? 8 murdered and 56 shot in Chicago. But hey, they don't have a crime problem. They turned around, the mayor of Chicago turned around and blamed it on red states. And hey, until the red states get control of their guns, we're always going to have murders in Chicago. Oh, wait a minute. Explain to me how that freaking works. Because it's like, let's not hold the people who commit these acts accountable. We are supposed to be a nation of laws, and we're going to get into some of those laws or potential laws here in a minute because, like I said, I am hot. I'm hot about a lot of things here.
It's easier
I
for a
find it
criminal.
amazing. It is. It is stunning to me what we've watched. How in the hell do you push this stuff? Is the $1 million question. How do you push this? Free DC, that's what they say. You know what? The people that are citizens of Washington, D.C. are ecstatic right now. You know why? Because they aren't having to look around over their shoulders to see if they're getting ready to get fucking cold-cocked by a little 13-year-old hoodlum. That's right. The facts are the facts. You don't want to quit making it about race. I'm not making it about race. I'm making it about assholes who do asshole things who should be dealt with harshly. Tell me I'm wrong.
I would add that if your 15-year-old and 13-year-old is out committing crimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, you should be in jail with them when they get caught as a parent.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. You know what? They are a minor, and you are responsible for the shit they do. No wonder you grounded us and whipped our asses as much as you did, because you knew that your ass was on the line if we did something really stupid.
Right.
But here's the flip side to that. You guys, Dennis, you remember Robbie Ball, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they were in a place where they weren't supposed to be. Him and his brother and all those kids were in a place where they weren't supposed to be, and the city of Sheridan got sued to Timbuktu because they weren't where they were supposed to be, and I guess a gas pipe went off, and that's how he ended up being burnt.
Yeah.
Well, let's never mind the fact that the little turd at the time, wasn't where he was supposed to be. He's out fucking around where he didn't need to be.
Yeah.
The parents should have been held just as accountable as the city. Well, both parents are working. I get that. You should have taught the kids not to go where they weren't supposed to be. I'm sorry that he got all burned up, but it's bullshit that he was rewarded the way he was for that shit. All of them. All right,
it was
we're
him.
jumping
Who
off
was
for
it?
a second or two. We're going into our first break.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh, I'll get you on the other side.
Let me get. We'll pin this one, and then we'll jump into another because I got like I said, I'm on a warpath today, guys.
Those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
No?
Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
Oh my goodness.
Dad? Oh, that never ceases to put a smile on my face. It's so
Me too.
All right, so in other news, okay, let's put a pin on what we were just talking about, which is that ultimately it comes down to accountability is what it really comes down to. So, Dennis, I'm gonna let you put a pin in this.
Well, so yeah, it was. I don't know all the kids that were there. It was Robbie Ball, Ron V. Hill, I think Juan Salazar. I want to say I can't remember all of them. There was a group of them, and honestly, I don't remember the whole story about it. But I do know that they were, like you said, somewhere they were not supposed to be. Now I don't think they realized that there was gas coming out of that pipe, but still, that's not really the whole point of this subject. They weren't where they're supposed to be. His parents had no idea where it was.
Right, and it's just one of those things where you just sit there and you're just like thinking back to that, when because he was like, one of the pop hits. I don't know whether it was simply because he was popular or because of what happened or anything, but I do know that he was one of the popular kids, and being as he's one of the popular kids, it's like, oh my God, seriously, guys, this is ridiculous. So moving on, in Brooklyn, a high school put up a giant Palestinian flag in its hallway. Okay, I'm going to make this abundantly clear. Number one, Palestine is not an official nation. It never was. If it ever gets to be, then great. We'll put up a Palestinian flag at a ambassador's place or an embassy. It has no business being in the United States of America unless you have a hallway that is dedicated to all of the flags of the world, which at that point would be fine because it's acknowledging, hey, here's what all the different flags look like, right? But to have a single Palestinian flag in a American school is disgusting. And I'm going to double down on something that I said, I think last week, Mom and I were talking about it. Rashid Tlaib. That woman should be stripped of her seat in Congress. You're in the halls of Congress outside of your office, and you're flying a fucking Palestinian flag. Are you American or are you Palestinian? Hey, Congresswoman Tlaib, you stand out there and you bark about the United States Constitution and you bark about this and you bark about that. Go fucking to Palestine and live there, because apparently that's where your fucking allegiances are. Hey, let's take it one step further. AOC, shut up with your crap. I will give AOC some credit. Her and Chip Roy, how Congress people can no longer engage in insider trading, nor can their spouses. So Nancy Pelosi, you want to make sure that your books are all up to date, because your days of insider trading are about to be cooked. And one of your Democrats wrote that bill, along with Chip Roy.
Yep.
Freaking explain this one to me. Explain to me how Ilhan Omar is now worth $33 fucking million in a country that she hates, by her own words.
Good question.
Well,
I have answers to all these problems.
Yeah, well, I think that probably a lot of the U.S. aid that was supposed to go to Somalia went to her, for one. I think she's it's a money laundering scheme all the way around. Those U.S. aid grants, they didn't start out that way. That's what they are now.
Right. Well, look, well, no, they're not
She's
anymore
not-
because
they ought to
USAID no
deport
longer
her, too.
exists.
She needs to be deported.
Well, you can't deport. You can't deport Tlaib. Tlaib is not a naturalized citizen. You can't strip her of her citizenship.
True.
It's not a naturalized citizenship. She's an actual citizen. However, we have Ilhan Omar, who is a naturalized citizen, who should have her citizenship stripped, her seat in Congress stripped, as, hey, and while we're at it, the potential mayor of Minneapolis, one of them who came into this country, who professed an allegiance to this country, who behaves in manners that are counter to their oath of their allegiance to this country, should go. And I don't care who I upset, and I don't care who I offend. I'm tired of all of it. I'm sick of sitting here and watching a sitting congresswoman in the United States of America badmouth my country when she came from a horrible fucking place. You know what, Ilhan? You profess your allegiance to fucking Somalia? Bye. Don't let the fucking doors hit you where the good Lord splits you. That's all I got to say. You should be gone. The minute you show and profess an allegiance somewhere else, it's patriotism. It isn't racist. It's what's right and what's wrong. And these assholes want to make it into something it's not.
Yes, and when
I told you I was hot.
Somebody was talking about or writing about the start of Palestine, Gaza, today. No, it must have been Levin last night. And he reminded me that I remember this when Arafat took over. He put the Muslims in camps and took them to where they had to face the country of Israel, so they would learn to hate Israel. And that was exactly what he did. He made sure that the kids were taught
if you guys,
to hate.
Okay.
They should have took Arafat out a long time.
If you guys are interested in, we will do a deep dive into Israel and the things that happened between then and now. We don't need to do it today, but we'll do a deep dive, and we'll do it on this program so that people can see that we do know what we're talking about. I do know and can tell you that every treaty that was ever brought forth from all the way back to the beginning, the Arab nations, especially the ones that call themselves Palestinians now, flattened it. And I don't think that these assholes who come out and say, free Hamas or free Palestine or Gaza this or Gaza that, you know what? If you don't know the fucking history, shut the fuck up. Because you're not basing it on facts. You're basing it on feelings. Oh my God, they're starving people. You know what? Hamas is still using hospitals and schools as a base of operations. Fuck you. I'm sorry,
Jordan,
but I'm not sorry. This is okay.
The country of Jordan and Syria both came out of the same dividing up that Britain did just before and during and after World War II. Jordan did not exist, and they put in a king who was a bastard, and they got rid of him and got somebody else in.
So this was back from the conversation we just had. Farmers in Arkansas are needing a handout. They support socialism. Look, I have a very good friend of mine who lives in Arkansas. I don't know. James, what's your proof? You claim that they support socialism, so why don't you support it? Otherwise, get off of the thread. If you can't come up with something that isn't supported with facts, you get bounced out of my and Dennis's show. Okay? What I'm proving to anybody who will pay attention is there is proof as to what Israel was willing to give up in the interest of peace. And okay, let's go all the way to the last time that Yasser Arafat negotiated with Israel. The then president of the United States, and I'm not sure which one it was, I want to say it was Bill Clinton, said that he had never been in a negotiation where one person said no so many times. And then when Arafat came back to wherever, the Palestine or whatever the hell fuck they want to call it, the first thing that he did was ordered suicide bombings in wedding halls and buses and roller skating rinks in Israel. So for those of you people who keep talking about how bad Israel is, let me tell you something. They're not perfect, but they're not the complete bad guys here. Hamas likes to hide behind those who have no defense. And I'm sorry, you don't want to hear it, but no, being unfiltered and united, that's what we mean. We want uncensored, hard conversations. If you don't like what I'm saying, then bring proof that what you're saying. Because I have a friend who is a farmer in Arkansas, and trust me, he's no Terry Frost, Mom. So James Patrick just likes to stir up shit, apparently.
Oh.
He's going to have to get thumped. We don't do stupid here.
Well, we'll just give him a kiss and tell him to go away.
You
know, all those good socialists like him
I'm not giving
have to have their kiss before they leave.
I'll give you
Like, you know.
When we come back, we're going to talk about Gomez, because we're going to talk about what it is she's fighting, and I'll tell you guys who Valentina Gomez is when we get back. We're going to take an early break so we can get right back in. And you guys are going to like this one too. Well, Dennis, you and I will like this one because it's funny. Let me find it. Holy crap, it disappeared. That could be a problem. There we go.
What happened to you? Ruben, I'm in a situation here. We have to leave now. Well, no, can we stay a couple more minutes? But dude, no, this is serious. I just sharted. I don't know what that means. I tried to fart and a little shit came out. I just sharted. And let's go.
There's a car behind us.
Some seriousness with a bit of humor, man. All right. So who in this chat here knows who Valentina Gomez is?
What's her name?
Nobody?
Valentina
Gomez. Valentina Gomez.
I hear it, but I don't have any idea.
All right. Valentina Gomez is running for office in Texas, and her biggest, her huge campaign is against Islam, especially the radical Islam and Sharia law. She is very famous for putting a flamethrower to a Quran. So look her up. She's a badass. The reason that I'm bringing her up is because she's right. She came out on the steps in Texas and went after radical Islam. She called radical Islam the religion of rape, the religion of hate, the religion of conquest. It is not a religion of peace. There may be peaceful Muslims. I know a couple that are very, very, very peaceful people, but the religion itself is anti. It is anti-human. It is anti anybody who disagrees with them. It is the we should be looking at as a religion. And
Levin calls it
through its
religion
history,
of death.
Christianity has done some pretty nasty shit. So through all of that, we know that this is what they are. Sharia law has no place in this country. There's a reason why there were laws to prevent Muslims from taking office.
Yes.
Dennis, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm just looking her up. I do remember her now. I saw her actually not too long ago, I think. Can't remember which news outlet it was, but yeah, she definitely got the right idea.
I think she does, and you and I have talked about this at great length. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're Islamic. I don't care. But this kind of goes to the trans community. I don't care that you want to be a cross-dressing person. I don't care. I don't care that you got a mental disorder known as gender dysphoria. I don't care. I hope that you get help if you have, and this is what they have, is a mental disorder called gender dysphoria. I wish and would hope that they would all get the help that they need to get. Quit trying to cram it down mine, my mom's, my friend's throat. Because it makes you feel better about yourself. If that's what it takes to make you feel better about yourself, you are a sad fucking state of a human. You're a sad excuse of a human being. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's how I feel about that.
I'm trying to. Yeah, I kind of wondered. I'm wondering if there's something going on with like those puberty blockers, those chemicals that they're giving them, that's making them go into depression or something like that. Some kind of an altered state.
Well, Dennis, you're not a woman, so you wouldn't know. And Mark, you're not a woman either, thank God. But if any woman that has ever
I identify as a
gone
woman,
through-
Mom. You can't call me a man.
I'll call you whatever I want. And sometimes I'll call you for dinner.
There you go.
Anybody who's ever gone through menopause will tell you that, if they're honest, that the hormones start doing wacky things to your brain.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the puberty blockers do? They're hormones, and they're going to do wacky things to your brain.
Right.
And I don't care what the damn doctors that are pushing this shit say.
So
they're a bunch of fools.
So let me ask you a question, Mom. Are you saying that when you go into menopause, you lose your fucking minds?
It doesn't affect every woman the same way. I never had a mind to lose. I already lost it when I had
that
kids.
question. Hey, Dennis, she just danced around that question. Hey, menopause makes women batshit crazy.
All right, here you go, Mark. One of the reasons I didn't go through it really bad and kill you guys is because I knew what was happening because I've had too many surgeries. And I went to the doctor and I said, I don't care if you don't want me to kill somebody. You better put me on hormones. And they did. And they smoothed out the fact that my body was lacking the hormones that it needed.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And this is what's dangerous about it. This is what's dangerous about it. They are lying to people about whether or not they do life-altering surgeries. They are lying to people about whether or not they have really done the research to at least, I mean, fuck, man, give it. Okay, they're lying to people about how bad these puberty-blocking hormones are. I've been on implanted testosterone. I'm trying to get away from anything that isn't natural based. So I'm going to supplement stores to say, hey, what do you fucking have here? In fact, there's one that I want to try because it talks about when you ingest this batch of supplements, what it actually restores the body. So we don't know what we don't know. And look, I've said this numerous times. Yeah, we're talking about society. We're talking about trans. We're talking about Islam. We're talking about all of this crap. But let's talk about medical. We just watched the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, get grilled by a bunch of people who wanted you to believe that wearing a mask that looked like a outlaw's mask was going to keep you safe. Okay, at what point do we finally say, until you admit, and look, I haven't taken a shot since before 2020. I have refused to take the pneumococcal pneumonia shot. I have refused to take the shingles shot. If I get shingles, fuck it, I'll deal with it. But I don't trust them anymore because they've never admitted they were wrong. They tried to tell us that if we didn't take the shot, we wouldn't be allowed to go from state to state. They lied to us, telling us that if you took the shot, you were no longer going to get this disease. And half of the people...
It seemed to me that they were more interested in grilling him about him getting rid of the people that had been at that agency for so long because they were incompetent than they were about anything else.
Yeah.
They were upset about, oh, you can't fire these people. Why the hell couldn't they fire them? They were incompetent.
I listened to Bernie Sanders ramble. I listened to Michael Bennett ramble. None of them made any sense to me at all. They said nothing of value.
Yeah. The whole damn thing was ridiculous.
They have nothing.
Bennett was an asshole.
They have nothing of value.
Nope.
The thing that we have to stop looking at, and this is those people who vote a certain way, stop looking at them as if they're your demigods and start looking at them as they are your employees. If you change the way you look at these people, I guarantee you we'll see a fundamental shift.
Yep.
Right.
The problem is in such a way that you can't pull them from it. You know, it reminds me of the scene from The Matrix, and I know Mom and I talked about this last week. It reminds me of the scene from The Matrix where Morpheus is telling Neo, the very people you're trying to save are the very people who are going to kill you.
Right.
Because as long as they're in that system until they wake up from the fucking matrix, this is what they're going to be.
Yep.
And this is a reoccurring problem.
Right.
Makes sense.
I got a kudos. A woman. I don't know what her name is. I can't see what her name is. She is the one who reported the 475 illegal aliens in Georgia that were working at the Hyundai plant. She was the one who called ICE. They deported. They rounded up 400. Okay, let's talk about this. Are we American first or are we not? That's 475 American jobs.
Yep.
And if Hyundai doesn't want to pay American wages, fuck you. Go back to Korea. I don't like.
I guess they were Korean too. I've heard on the news.
Really don't want
that the illegals were Korean, and the Korean people are all upset because they got fired. Well, I mean, picked up by ICE, and I'm thinking, well, that wasn't the deal that Trump put in place.
Right.
He put in place
correct
for jobs for Americans, not jobs for illegal immigrants from Korea.
Correct.
Yep. Exactly.
So Dennis, I don't know about how you are, but as far as I'm concerned, let's implement eminent domain on that plant, kick Hyundai completely out, and give it to an American car making company.
Sure.
You mean there's one left?
Oh yeah, it's still Ford, Chevy, Dodge. They're still, well, Dodge is owned by the Italian, but Ford and Chevy are still American owned.
Sort of.
So give it to one of them. Hey, I hear that Tesla is still building cars. Why don't we move it? Why don't we tell Elon, hey, purchase that fucking shop down there and hire a bunch of people to build Teslas in Georgia?
Well, you know what?
Is it a stretch?
If we're being honest here, I can tell you firsthand from a lot of Hyundai and Kia owners that those things are biggest pieces of shit ever made.
Yep.
And I've got one sitting on the street right in front of my house that has 96,000 miles on it, and the engine fucking blew up. So they can take that shit out of this country and shove it up their ass for all I care.
Correct.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to talk about some. We'll hit some of those real quick. So we're going to go into our last break, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do. Go ahead, Mom, while I'm finding something.
I'll bring a topic up.
Well, bring it up.
Let's talk about something I heard on the news about, or heard about, that special commission that they are set up without any input from the ranchers as to what to do to keep the poor little wolves from getting killed here in Colorado.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah, they're talking about eminent domain, taking over the ranchers' properties, and just to make sure that the wolves can live in privacy.
Yeah, and they want the government to buy it. They want the federal government to buy the land.
Let's see how far. Yeah, Donald Trump ain't going to go for that. I'll tell you that.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you know veterans enrolled in VA healthcare can use over 4,000 urgent care locations across the country to treat non-life-threatening conditions? It's easy and free. Just show your Veteran Health ID card. Get the best care for veterans. Sign up at va.gov or visit your nearest VA medical center.
All right, that's our last break. So let's talk about that. First of all, let's talk about the wolves. What were we told? What were voters told about the wolves that they were going to reintroduce? They were told that they wouldn't pose an immediate threat to livestock, that they would hunt elk and they would hunt deer, and they would hunt small game. Isn't that what they were? A lie that we were told?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the problem. People don't understand because people are fucking stupid about ranching. The cows that we now have in pastures and what have you have not been hunted for, at least 100 years. They have no idea why these dog-looking things are actually attacking them. So they don't run and they don't do what a typical cow would have done 100 years ago. They have the instinct of protection is been bred out of them. They don't even have horns anymore, for Christ's sake.
Okay. Hey, Mom, I'm going to support that. I'm going to support that. Has there been any reports of the buffalo herds being attacked by the wolves? Wait, let me answer that for you. No, there has been no reports of the wolves going after buffalo herds. You know why? Because buffaloes, even though they are being fenced, are not domesticated. Whatever had been ingrained into cattle to be domesticated on one level or another never stuck with Tatankas, with the buffalo. Buffalo are more inclined to run you over and then come around to see if they can finish the job that they started. And that's why a pack of wolves won't go after a buffalo, because the instinct is, the wolves know that an easy target, even a young buffalo, is nothing to fuck with. Am I right or am I wrong about that?
Right.
No, you're right.
But these ranchers here's the thing. This commission, and look, I was a witness in front of a commission. I had to do it remotely because it was during COVID. It was right after I got back from Hawaii, Mom, and it was about the oil and gas industry. And my bitch wasn't about the restrictions. Yes, the restrictions are a major problem. These wolves are a major problem. My bitch is lazy fucking politicians creating commissions of unelected people creating laws and creating that is not representative government. So for those of you assholes out there who think that we live in a democracy, we're not. That's first of all. Second of all is if you go, okay, I did this numerous times. Mom, you were with me when we went into the antique store off of Broadway, and the guy made me put a mask on. And I said, wait a minute, is that mask because of the mandates, or is that mask that you want me to wear because it's store policy? That's an important distinction to make, because if you tell me it's because of a mandate, I'm going to tell you a mandate is nothing more than a strong suggestion. It's not enforceable, and it doesn't fucking count. These unelected government entities that sit out there and create all of these issues that don't benefit people. What happens if, okay, so let's see this through, Mom. All right, let's play devil's advocate, shall we? Eminent domain gets implemented, and ranchers lose their land for the benefit of an apex predator that isn't even native to this fucking state. And then there's a shortage of beef. That's exactly what they want anyway, because they want to be able to control the population by controlling the food supply, and as much as the vegans out there, if you're a vegan, I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you how it is. You still have to eat fucking meat. We're not fucking vegetarians.
It seems to
That's
me like
what we are.
It seems to me like I put something like that in my little rant about it being a way to control food supply. Not only that, but you're not going to keep those wolves on one piece of land anyway. That's not their nature.
No,
they're going to follow
because
the easy food. You move the easy food
because they
closer to Denver, they'll be following it.
Right. So let's, like, that's right there. Dennis, chime in on that.
Well,
because this is a serious thing.
Yeah. Actually, I saw in an interview with a rancher a few weeks ago, actually, and basically that's already happening in the beef industry. Not because of the wolf thing necessarily. That actually started with the Biden's economy.
Yeah.
So they're actually, that's why beef prices are skyrocketing because of that, primarily. But it's gonna, with these ranchers, livestock being harassed by these wolves that were implanted by people playing God. Now we're going to start seeing repercussions from that as well.
Right, and here's my take on all of it. Mom and I are going to go next weekend to see about one of these ranches that sells directly, because we both believe that we need to give back to these ranchers and give these ranchers a fighting chance. If you were to ask me, I don't think that there should be any regulations. I think that there should be standard health and standard cleanliness.
Yes.
But everything else should be fucking free for them. They shouldn't have a million fucking restrictions on how they process their meat. They're probably better at processing the meat than the fucking overseas bullshit that we're already fucking dealing with.
Right.
And that's just my take on it. They are the fucking experts of what they're doing. The government should not be jumping in. The FDA is a complete and total farce. Once again, it's another one of these government agencies that answers to pretty much nobody, that I hope Donald Trump takes a long, hard fucking look at and puts a clamp on him. He's doing everything else right.
Well, unless it's a specialized kind of meat. If it's a specialized kind of meat that you want, like Wagyu, like from Japanese beef or something like that. If it's something specialized, that's one thing. But I don't want just some willy-nilly random meat of any kind coming from overseas.
Right. Yeah. And Mom and I have talked about this, and I'm pretty sure you know we about this in the past. The meat gets processed overseas.
Right.
It actually gets shipped overseas and then brought back.
Right, which is stupid.
And extra steps for what fucking purpose?
Right. That happens with vegetables and fruit too.
Right. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. All right, let's go into a couple of things that I found on Instagram. Here's what I think of it, and let's try to put a pin into the wolves. I think that if a wolf or a pack of wolves is caught on a farmer's property and that they can see that wolf or that pack of wolves has their livestock, which is their livelihood, I think that the Constitution gives you the right to protect your assets and your livelihood. That is what the Constitution protects. And these environmental people can shove it. And as much as I hate to say it, my wife is one of those people who would support the wolves. And I would say, fuck that shit. Fuck
I know
that.
a few people that do. I know a few people myself.
If that's the case, then what I'm going to be cooking tonight, we should just cook it with fucking dirt. Because, hey, we got to protect the wolves. So the ground beef that I'm going to use to create this dish that my wife wants me to create, I don't think I'm going to cook with it.
Right.
It comes along. It kind of goes into the category of you can't have this shit both ways. You know, I mean, I hate to say this, but you can't have you can't have your cake and eat it too. In this case, you can't say you want to protect these wolves because they're in danger. Well, they were implanted, number one. So let's just stop that bullshit. And number two, that's not how this shit works. They're an apex fucking predator.
Right.
Do they not understand that? Once again, this is one of those very rhetorical questions. It isn't necessarily one that requires an answer. So, let's see. The federal government has lost a stunning 97. What?
Hey, I found an article we were just talking about with the guy in Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's Christina Aguayo News. Do you follow her at all?
Probably see her. Yeah.
Okay. No, this is on Facebook. The suspect, DeCarlos Brown Jr., a 34-year-old career criminal with a history of violence and mental health issues, was free to roam despite being arrested 14 times.
14. Okay, so we now know.
Yep. Jarutuska sat in front of Brown, who had boarded earlier without a ticket. This is on the train. For about 4 minutes, with no interaction between them, Brown suddenly fidgeted, pulled out a pocket knife from his hoodie, stood up, and lunged at Jarutuska, stabbing her 3 times in the neck and throat area. She collapsed, bleeding profusely as passengers froze before some rushed to help. Nobody tackled this motherfucker at all.
Right.
Which really gets under my skin a lot. We need to start stepping up and helping out, man.
Yes, we do. We need to be more like Daniel Penny.
Yes.
That's what we need. I keep my head on a swivel, and if it gets to a point, my short little ass gets engaged. And we need more of that.
Like I said earlier, dude, it's coming to a head. This fucking boil is coming to a head. And
it is.
I'm telling you, man, good men are gonna have to do bad things. And I'm gonna keep saying that because
I agree.
I see that happening.
I agree 100%. All right. The federal government lost 97,000 jobs since Trump took office in 2025. That would be January 21st, 2025. Who here is okay with losing 97,000 jobs that were probably fucking useless?
I'm all right with it.
That's government jobs. They can go back into private section as far as I'm concerned. Well, I'm perfectly good with it. Let me see. Let's see here. Elon Musk has asked Pam Bondi to start arresting politicians that were involved in these NGOs, USAID, and start arresting these people that were basically running a money laundering scheme under the guise of international aid. That's a good one to run through. We got 1 minute. Let me see here.
Didn't Chelsea Clinton get a bunch of money?
Obama judge exposes anti-Trump bias. Judges. Oh, of course she did. Yes, why wouldn't she? Let me see here. An Obama judge who is the judges that are all taking aim at Supreme Court emergency orders are all anti-Trump biased judges. So those all of those judges need to be taken down and have their license to practice law removed, to be disbarred and be taken off of the bench.
Absolutely.
A judge is supposed to be the ultimate. the judge is supposed to be an ultimate non-biased kind of a referee, right? Isn't that what a judge is supposed to be? The referee, look at the case on both sides and make a ruling based on the facts of the case, not based on political affiliation. That's just the way that's going to go. Here's one for people who claim, and we're going to close out with this one right here. Is Donald Trump your president? All right. Well, let's look at a pie chart or a kind of a little chart. Are you a U.S. citizen? No. Then Donald Trump is not your president. Are you a U.S. citizen? Yes. Do you like him and did you vote for him? Yes. Then Donald Trump is your president. No, I hate him. Donald Trump is still your president.
Right.
Did you like that? I thought that was good.
Yep.
All these assholes who say he's not my president. You know, Mom and I talked about this. We're gonna jump off after this one. Mom and I talked about this when President Biden was in office, running the country as the president. But my mom and I both said the same thing. He's still the president.
Yep.
Unfortunately. He was, yes. They're finding out more and more about the auto pin business.
He was still the president.
Well, yeah, he was the president, I guess.
It's
in name, he was the president.
I was going to say, in name only.
They're finding out that.
So what do we do?
They ought to hang all those
what we're
suckers.
dealing with is basically.
Oops, I guess I probably ought to shut up.
So what we're dealing with is acts. What we're looking at is for 4 years, a group of unelected individuals were running our country on our names. Now, if that doesn't make you enraged, I don't know what does.
Yes, well.
And yeah, so.
Yep.
All right, guys. I think this one was a good show. Let's see if let's see if James Patrick jumps on again next week, because I'll tell you what, when he posts something, he is no longer going to get posted up. And if he continues his bullshit, I will block him because I can do that. So, I want open conversations. I don't want bullshit like that.
Right.
So that's kind of how that's going to go. Hey, it was a good hour. I definitely went off. I think we all went off a little bit, which is good. We need moments where it's okay. Look, uncensored, unfiltered, and united. That is what we're supposed to be about, right? And if that's what we're supposed to be about, every once in a while, stepping on toes is going to have to be the rule of the game. And for my fellow veterans, you should be on board with everything I'm saying, because what I'm saying is about our country, the country that we raised a hand up and swore to uphold and protect, a constitution that if you fucking read it, you know damn good and well one side is at least trying to follow it and the other side could give a shit that it was ever fucking written.
Right.
But hey, what do I know?
You're correct, sir.
All right, guys. I'll shout it. All right. We're going to end this. Have a good rest of your day. Go, Broncos.
Go, Broncos.
Broncos.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice.
So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us, giving our veterans a voice.